drop off, make sure they continue their college education, provide them the right set of resources, be more resourceful to those students, right? But I want to start with asking this question. What do you think are the reasons which is making these students to not continue, which is making these students to drop off? Where, why do they need your help? What is the problem which is causing them to not continue, or maybe go for work rather than investing in education right away, right? Some of the things that I could identify from my discussions with Birkin earlier, or with some of the other schools who are or other programs like Harmony who are trying to solve similar problems, is one major challenge is financial conditions. Students are coming from a minority community, or let's say from a poor background, or who are first generation students and do not have the right set of resources to afford higher education, right? That could be one problem. The other problem that we have identified is uh, they are not sure if they should invest in the education, invest $30,000, $44,000, and go through that rigorous college program for 2-3 years, or they feel instead it would be better if I start working now, get some money, right, get some experience. Why should I go to a college program and invest this much money? Will I even get the return of the amount of money I'm investing, right? For some of the people, that's the concern. For some of them, it's since they are the first generation students, they have never been to a college, so it's a huge change. It's a lot of uncertainty. They don't know what kind of environment they'll be in. Will they find similar people in there to the place they're going on? Will they feel a sense of belonging there, right? Maybe they are coming from a community which is not a major or is a minor community in the college that they are going to, right? Will they face any kind of, let's say certain sensitive issues like discrimination or, being feeling of being left out, right? That could be one of the reasons, right? So these are some of the things that I have personally observed in my interactions with, let's say, Birkin, for that matter, with other schools that I work with. But you guys have been in this space and are working day in and day out for years, understanding some of the challenges that students are facing. So I want to start with asking, the same question to you, and know from you are what are some of the reasons you think this is a problem? Why college transition is a problem for students, and why do they drop off? And to keep this interactive, if you could think of anything that comes to your top of your head and share that through chat, that would be great, right? We can then pick up some points from there and have a deeper discussion onto that. So I would encourage you to send in your responses through the chat option, and it would be good to see for all of us to understand what are the reasons which make college transition program a necessity for, let's say, Harmony students, or why do this problem even exist?
So to me, Rohit, I think the population that we are serving right now in Harmony, they are mainly in certain campuses, the rates are even higher. They are either first generation, minority, low income students. So their challenges are way more than, a rich white student coming from a rich family. They don't deal with those issues. So in that sense, they look for role models, like people like them who have been successful in life. Those are our alumni. So alumni relations is I think is very, very important for an organization, educational organization, to show hope to current generations by looking at successful role models. And I think it's a huge investment, huge connection and motivation. And we have some proofs even within our group here, being a role model. That's why alumni relations is really, really very critical. It's not just, we don't think alumni as a source of income, source of resources. We see it as a source of knowledge, skills and experience and network, to be honest.
Exactly. Right. And we have some interesting responses coming in. Some of it are in line with what I just said, but then there are some interesting observations for me as well. For example, college, you are on your own, but in a high school, you are in a more protective environment where there are people to hold your hands and nurture you through the entire journey. But college, you have to figure out things on your own. You have to develop that sense of independence, right, and solve or fight for your own rights and fight for your problems. So how you can get support there, right? Maybe a local support system or a local guardian system or role models that you could look up to make sure that, hey, if they could make it, if they could, coming from a similar background, facing the same problems I'm facing, if Birkin can do it, why can't I do the same with and continue through the college program, right? So these are some of the interesting insights, right? So let's say if fundraising, or sorry, if financial situation is uh, one of the main constraints, then what we, no matter how much of a support we can provide, in terms of advice, in terms of counseling, it's not going to solve that problem, because at the end of the day, you have to pay for college, you have to have the resources to make the ends meet. So what we need there is, a fundraising program or a scholarship program or support from the government to help students to be able to pay for their tuition or to be able to make ends meet. And that's, and I'm sure you must be doing some programs. Harmony as an organization must be having some programs to solve this challenge where finance is a concern, right? So that's one set of problem where there are other kinds of solutions that we have to solve this challenge, to help students with the tuition. But let's take another problem, right, which is the one I mentioned, where students are not sure on, why should I go for a college program? Why can't I just start working today and make money today, right? Why should I invest such a big amount, stick with it for 3 years of next 3 years of my life, and will I even get the return or on the investment that I'm making, right? One way to think about that problem is, finding somebody and connecting, or finding a mentor and connecting that mentor with that person online. But what we have observed, being 5 years into this industry or working with similar schools like yours, is the reason these online mentoring programs do not work is they are not scalable, right? You either fall short on the number of the mentors available. You don't have the mentors are there's not enough motivation for the mentors to actually follow through and continue with this mentoring program. There's no tracking mechanism. You don't know if the mentoring is actually happening, right? So all sorts of different challenges come into the picture, right? But what if we can go a one step deeper and think about
I'm
this
not
problem in
able
the
to hear.
sense. Sorry, can
Maybe,
you?
maybe I can hear, maybe.
Is anybody else facing the same problem?
Okay, it might be on my end.
Yeah, could you maybe check your microphone settings, and maybe if the issue still continues, try and rejoin. I think that would help.
It's probably an internet thing. I'm good now. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. So like I was saying, right, what if we can go one step deeper and identify, things which could help us develop that sense of confidence into these students and help them showcase the value they can get on if they continue with the education program. What if, like what Boykin just said, can we show them, for the people or the role models from a similar background with a similar set of problems, who stick with the college program, and where they are now into their life, where are they now into their careers? Can we, maybe build a system to tackle this problem, right? So if you think about what I just said earlier, right, we are meeting here to identify the problems, developing strategies which could help us solve those problems, and then identifying tools or where Arma Base can help you implement that strategy, right? So here the problem that we have identified is people are not sure if they should continue, or why they should go to a college, or what will be the return on investment they would get by going to the college. So that's the problem. What could be a program that we can develop to address that problem, right? A program that I have observed with one school who solves a similar challenge is career guide program, where what they do is they identify people who have been through who belongs to a similar community, who have been through similar problems, ask them the right set of questions. Hey, tell us what set of problems did you face, how did you overcome those challenges, right? Where are you, and specific questions to address that concern. The concern was, will I get the return on investment? How much will I make, if I stick to this college program? Will I be successful in my life? Will I be rich? Can I own that Mercedes I always wanted, right? So asking those specific set of questions and displaying information like how much are those mentors whom we are connecting them with earning today, 1 year into their jobs, 2 years into their job, right? And can we then build a directory of such mentors uh, online, and then let these students go in there and read through their responses and identify themselves with their problems and see that, hey, when this guy he was at a similar situation me, but he invested that $50,000 into the education, stick through it for 3 years, and now he's into a really good, let's say, investment banking or a bank for that matter, and he's earning 100 grand a year or 200 grand a year, right? So that sort of addresses that problem, right? This is one example, and to give you a visual sense of what I'm referring to, right? And this is where the tactical thing comes into picture, right? So let me just quickly start by sharing my screen. Bokan, let me know once you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right, and the example that I was referring to is a next gen, an organization in the Boston area, which help students connect with mentors and help them transition. So what they have done is create a directory under this career guide program, where they answer questions like this. So as a student, I can go in, right? And let's say for whatever reasons, I understand that, I may not be able to afford a full-fledged college education, but what I can do is maybe more professional courses or vocational courses, and start working early. And how would my future look like if I at least do those courses, right? So let's say, they go in and they connect that, hey, a high school diploma or a vocational course would be something that I can go through and make a good living. So they can just click on this, find a set of people who did the same set of programs, and it boils down to the right set of people. And then we can see where are, in that, how old are they in that in their career, right? So I can, let's say, look for somebody who did the same vocational course and is 3 or 5 years into his job, and how is he doing now, right? So I can just go to his profile here and see what all kind of courses did he do, what is his current job, and more importantly, for addressing the problem, that what is my return on investment, right? These are the set of questions that could help answer. These are the kind of answers that could help address that concern or that fear, right? So this is just one example or one framework that I'm trying to put here to think about this problem, right? We identify the problem is people are not sure if they would get the return on investment or why they should invest. That was the problem. Our strategy that we adopted to solve that problem is, hey, can we start a career guide program where we build a directory of mentors who went through, who faced the similar challenges, where they are into that career now, or, let's say the problem is, hey, is doing professional courses or vocational courses a good career choice, right? So that's the problem we are trying to solve. The strategy we adopted is, can we build a directory of people who did the same set of courses and display where are they today in their life, how well are they doing in their careers, right? And then the tactic to that's a strategy we adopted, or that's a program we adopted. And to implement this program, what kind of tools we used forms where we structured these kind of questions, send out a survey to those potential set of mentors, and you could identify from the rich database that you Harmony is maintaining of all of its alumni, right? Who could be the potential set of mentors? Ask them the right set of questions, and then take that information back, put it into a structured fashion, and build a directory out of it. So that could be the tactical solution or the means to implement that program. And that's where Alma Base can come in. That's where I can come in, Birkin can come in and help you implement the program you think can help you solve the challenge that you are trying to solve, right? So let's say if you identify with this challenge and you think a career guide directory is the right strategy or the right program to solve it, this is how Birkin or Alma Base can help you implement that strategy, providing you with the right set of tools, forms to collect those responses, email communications tools to send out your form, a directory to arrange the responses in a structured fashion, and then providing a platform where people can go in and apply the right set of filters and reach out to people who they can connect with. So this way, this profile right here can answer same set of questions for, let's say, 100 people might have the same set of questions. So look at the scale at which you can do things, right? This could solve the answer the question for potentially almost everybody who is going through that college transition phase, right? So is this a better solution to implement? So that's just one framework I wanted to highlight.
Can I ask you something, Rohit? I mean, it reminds me of something. I think it's a great idea. You talk about career guide directory. We also need a college guide directory.
Exactly,
So
and that's the second.
We have students, yeah. I'm not sure if you were going to talk, but something specific like reaching out to those alumni, they can fill out those surveys and they can be in the college guide directory. A senior, junior can search and reach out specifically to that alumni who is willing to share knowledge and experience regarding college.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So this was by no means, I'm not trying to say here that you should adopt this program. You know your challenges better. You know your what strategies are better. I'm just trying to give you a framework of how you can think about, understand the problem that is, that brings us all here. Why are we even doing this job? What is that problem? What can be the program we can adopt to solve that problem? And then once you know what is that program, if you need the tools, that's where Armor Base comes in to help you with the right set of tools to implement the program you feel can help you help these students better.
Sure.
Right? So that's one example, right? Let's take the other example that we identified, which Birkin just shared, a college guide program, right? So what, the other set of students can be, hey, I want to continue with education. I know that I am applying to this college. I'm going to University of Chicago, but I'm not sure. I have never been to Chicago. I don't know what the weather is like there. I don't know will I feel like at home there. I have always been around people who identify with me, but that's a different set of people I'm going to meet. Will they welcome me? Will they adopt me? What kind of a hostel I'm gonna live in? Will it be clean? What kind of food will I get? Right? How are the winters there? So all those kind of questions can be lingering in their minds. And these are young minds, so much uncertainty and so much pressure at this stage can make them feel, hey, maybe this is not the best choice. Let me stay back where I am and let me opt for something else. Right? Going to University of Chicago and looking 4 years ahead is not something they could envision today, given their experience, right? So if that is the problem you identify that is, and that you want to solve, can we start a college guide program, like Birkin said, as a strategy to get closer to that outcome or to solve that code, right? And what can then be, what can we do under this college guide program? Right. Some of these questions you might have also come across, which I just mentioned as examples in your interactions with one-to-one interactions with students, right? Can we, build specific communities or specialized communities for these students. So let's say we identified that there are students there are a bunch of students who are going to University of Chicago for their higher education. Can we then make a group of people from Harmony Network, and given how huge Harmony Network is and all the great work that you guys have been doing over years and the database that you have built, the network you have built, we surely will be able to identify some Harmony alumni who went through the same challenges, but then went to University of Chicago and actually continued their education. Now, can we bring those alumni who can be resourceful here, who can share their experiences and these young students onto a platform where they can share these questions, right? Where they can have these kind of interactions, a place for me to just go in and post these questions without the fear of just saying that, hey, my questions will sound stupid, or my questions are not that relevant, or who should I speak to, right? So can we build a platform like this? And that's where the groups like these that we have on the platform come in as as a tactical solution, as a tool, right? Can we build college-based groups uh, to connect these students? For example, Harmony at Rice University or Rice College, right? Can we have a few people from the Harmony Network who have already been through Rice or who are in Rice, and bring all those students together who are planning to go to Rice and have them interact here? So there's a discussion board they could use, post similar set of questions, right? So one challenge from a technical perspective here, or from a tactical perspective here, could be, those mentors or those alumni might not be on this platform, or might not be motivated enough to come and answer every question, because they have their own set of things to take care of. They have their college programs, or they might be working, right? How do we buy into their time? They can't just, there might be 100 students going to Rice. They can't just answer everybody's question. So how do we scale this program again? Right? So can we do this? Can we get, because the students want to ask those questions, they are motivated enough, they will come here and post those questions here. Can we assign a community admin? Let's say either one of you or one of the students who is the lead of that group here, who can collate all those questions, right? Put that maybe into a form and then share that form with the alumni at the Rice College who can answer those questions. Or can we do this? You as the as the owner of this program, or someone who's driving this program, can collate all those questions, can compile a list of questions which are common across all students, contact that Rice alumni, get him on a Zoom meeting, record that as a webinar, and then share that webinar on here, right? So this way, everybody at once gets to get answers of their questions, right? But not only today, in future, 1 year down the line, next set of students might have the same set of questions. Can it be used for them as well, right? There might be a few students who are not available on the day you are doing that webinar, who have other commitments, right? Can we then make that webinar recording available, make it on accessible, make it on demand, right? So that they can access it. So this could be one way to think about a college guide program, where students can come in and ask even the simplest of questions. Hey, do I need to even get my microwave? I love making sandwiches at night, but will there be a microwave in the hostel room of Rice College, right? So even simplest questions like these, which can ease that uncertainty, which can make them feel that they're going to a safe place, and there's somebody here there they can relate with, they can connect with, and if they could do it, they can do it too, right? And this is what one of our other partner organization that I work with, who has a similar set of challenges. This is Quest Bridge on the West Coast, where they primarily work helping Asian communities on the West Coast transition to college, or help them with finance related problems. So they follow the same approach, where they collect questions, then get somebody from their network who has dealt with similar set of problems, right? Let's say if the challenge for the member of this program is how to manage our finances better, right? So that I can save, do some savings, pay for my tuition, also support my parents, right? They get somebody from their network who has faced a similar problem and now maybe running a hedge fund, or now is maybe an investment banker who have a deep or thorough understanding of finances, right? And get him on a panel, do a webinar with him and ask him those questions, and then share that webinar for everybody else to access, right? This way, the same set of questions get answered for hundreds of thousands of students who might have the same problem, and can act as a resource library you could use, right? So again, going back to the same framework, the problem was, hey, the sense of belonging or the uncertainty in going to a new place. That was the problem. What is the strategy we adopted? We thought, hey, let's build a college guide program to solve this challenge where people can ask questions and get answers. And what are the tools we adopted? Communities could be one tool. Doing webinars or Zoom meetings and making it accessible can be one tool to achieve it, right? So again, this is another framework to think about a problem that you are facing, then build a program or strategy that you can use to solve that. And then that's once you identify that strategy or the program you're going to adopt, I and Birkin can come in and help you. Hey, you know what? This is the program, and these are the tools which can help you do that more effectively, or get closer to implement the outcomes you're trying to drive, or implement the strategy in a more effective manner. Birkin, does that make sense to, or does that fall in line with what you were trying to say?
You are giving great ideas. You're giving great ideas. I am also taking notes. We have done some webinars last year, college transition webinars at different universities. We have some recordings where we posted on the YouTube, but it's hard to find. But this is a place where we can post it under each college group. So the seniors, high school seniors or college freshmen can go be a member of the group and learn and interact and ask questions. Definitely. I mean, you are giving us strategies how we can really utilize. But are we going to go back to the basics of Alumni? These are advanced level things to show what you can do with Alma Base. I think along the way we should have an advanced Alma Base training. What else we can do after doing those basics? What else we can accomplish would be a great, series of training.
Right. So like I said, Birkin, right, I don't want to be somebody who's just running through features here, right? Because there are already resources built out to help you with that. We already have processes to help you if you get stuck. But what I want to help you with, if you can identify what are the things, right? Where and how you can use Alma Base rather than, where and when to use Alma Base rather than how to use Alma Base, because we already have resources to solve that. Right. And obviously, once I build this framework, once I develop this framework of how Alma Base can fit into all of the in the workflows of all of the people who are attending this meeting today, they will also start to think in that way, and then they can pick up only those things which are relevant to them rather than just going through. But all of our next sessions are going to about some of those tactical things, and how we can take those tactical strategies, map it to the program, and then map it to a goal or the problem that we are trying to solve. So I'm just trying to build that framework, and then I'll jump into some of those tactical stuff.
Definitely. Thank you, Rohit.
All right. Right. This is another framework which I could identify and present an example of. Is the other problem which I observed from some of the form responses you filled out is, one of the challenge for us is enabling mentoring and finding the right set of mentors, right? Or even if we do find mentors, there is not enough motivation for them to follow through the entire program, or, to be that college guide. So what can we do to solve that problem, right? One way to solve that problem, because the problem here is the lack of motivation, or if you boil down to the core of it, hey, what's in there for me? Why should I be care about being a mentor? I have my own problems to take care of, right? Who will help when I have my own challenges? Why should I spend my time on this, right? So can be the strategy could be, can there be a recognition or an incentive, or giving back value program that we can have for those mentors, like something you have on the platform work in alumni savings program, where they get a code which they can use to get discounts on on basic necessities, or let's say books or professional development courses for that matter, right? So if we are trying to build that program, what could be some of the tools that we can use to implement that program, right? So let's say once somebody signs in for being a career guide, or being a college guide, or being a mentor, can we track that engagement? Can we track how many conversations did this person had? Worker registered as a mentor, he has mentored two students so far, he has done two webinars so far, he came to one of our physical workshops on campus and spent 1 hour. Can we track the amount of value Birkin is adding, amount of investment Birkin is making in terms of his time and resources, and can provide, deliver value to him in terms of, let's say, credits, or in terms of points, which he then can redeem, let's say at bookstores, or for online courses, or for certificate programs, which will further help him get better in his career, right? So if he has, let's say, done 3 webinars, can he be eligible for 30% discount up to $1,000 on any book or any course that he do? In this way, we are giving that value, right? So Alma Base there as a tool comes in, which helps you track all that engagement. We can tell you that Perkin has done 2 meetings so far, replied to 5 messages, attended 1 event, did 3 webinars. Based on this, you can have your own criteria of how much points you want to give for each activity based on the time, effort, and the investment that goes into it, and then build a score for him, or give him certain incentives, maybe a discount, maybe harmony recognition, or it is need not always be in monetary terms. For some people, the motivation could be recognition, that my effort should get valued. Can we do a notable alumni program and highlight him as the mentor of the month, or you know uh, on the web page or on the Harmony School website, showing him that this person has really helped? Can we portray him as a notable alumni on the platforms, and give him recognition for his efforts, right? Or can we mention his name in our monthly newsletters that goes out to thousands of students, right? So then again, the problem was people are not motivated enough to continue or to follow through. The program we adopted is, can we build a rewards and an incentive program? And then there are a bunch of tactical tools we can adopt to solve that, right? Tracking engagement, giving them recognition through, let's say, this feature of Alumni Base called Notable Alumni, or mentioning them in their newsletters. Does that make sense?
Sure. So we have the
What
tracking
can
tool. We have this tracking feature of Alma Base, like how many times they mentored a student, how many times they really opened the email or communication we sent, how much time they, like which events they participated. Based on that criteria, we can set our own recognition or incentive system, and make it available for everyone to know and join. That really makes sense.
right? But I would just like to hear from maybe one or two of you of what do you think about what whatever we have discussed so far. Is it falling in line with what you were expecting out of this, right? Is it helping you think about some of those problems? If you have any feedback so far, which we can then take back and incorporate into our next session. So if any one of you would like to come forward and share that, if all what we are discussing today is making sense, and is are we being respectful of your time and not giving just lectures here on a Friday afternoon, right? So just wanted to make sure. Anybody who would just like to come forward and maybe share if he thinks this is, and you can be open here with me if you feel this is not being relevant. We still have 4 sessions left, so we can tailor our methodology accordingly, right? And make sure that you get the best out of your time from this program, right? Anyone who would like to come forward, or should work and call out names?
I'm sure they will say things, even if it's Friday afternoon.
Right. Maybe let's start with Eric, since I can see him on the screen next to me. Eric, what do you think of the things that we have discussed so far? Anything that you felt was good, or anything that you were expecting?
I'm probably the wrong person because I'm brand new to this, so it's all kind of over my
Yeah,
head at the moment. So whatever you're
yeah,
doing
but
is
did
fine
you?
for me.
So what were you expecting when you came into this meeting today, or from here on for the next 4 sessions that we will be having? For somebody like you who is very new to the program, what you think could help? Does the framework that we talk about of identifying a problem and then building a strategy and then identifying the tools to implement that strategy help uh, in some of your daily workflows or some of the things you are responsible for?
Yeah, I guess again, I'm still in my old position, so I'm still learning a lot of the new stuff. So I really couldn't tell you, but I mean, so far it's working fine. I think it's great. I mean, I think for a lot of us, it is about identifying the problem, then coming up with a solution. So far good.
Sounds good. Anybody else? Maybe who has been into this field for a little more time and really understand the core problems. I could be completely wrong here because I am fairly new, just like you guys. I have been here for 2 years now, so I could be wrong, and that's why it would be good for me as well to validate if I am on the right track. Given the kind, and definitely I don't have the kind of exposure you guys have. You have talked to these people one to one, right? You know their problems. You could feel their emotions when you are talking to them. So you are the best judge of what are those problems. These are some of the things I just understood from my interactions with Birkin or working with other schools or reading a lot of stuff online. But you are at the grassroots. So anybody else who would like to share something about what we have discussed so far?
I can
Birkin,
talk
you mentioned
about
somebody was there for almost 7 or 8 years. Maybe if that person can help us here.
Mr. Yakic.
AI in general. I think you are doing very great because it's very important to connect with the alumni. I believe that it's like raising or planting a tree. You made lots of investments to plant a tree, but you don't collect or pick up its fruits. So it's a metaphor, but we have to benefit from our alumni because we live with them for long years. And when they come to serve the public, not us, the society, the nation, we have to help them. We have to, during their college career or post-secondary career or doctorate, master's maybe. But it's a fact that even if you have a diamond in your hand, if they are not aware of a diamond, they may not know what you have in your hand. They think
Right.
that it's not, and it's worthless, even if it is a priceless, valuable thing. So I think the most problem is the communication. I believe we have to reach out. All the alumni at least try to reach out. It doesn't matter whether they go to college or they join the workforce or the army, but we need everybody in our society and in our nation. So we have to help them until they stand on their own, and we have to get them back together with us to assist them. I mean, it's not maybe getting benefit from them, but it's in general helping them and co-working with them. So for alumni relations, it's very good to use the technology because it's very difficult to reach everybody. But with the help of technology, we can connect them because everybody has smartphones. So they can have, I don't know if you can make an app for iOS or Android. They may get the notifications. Yeah, I know they can join with Facebook pages by others, but we can have a specific maybe tool or app to download their phones, and then maybe in real-time exchange, we can have a real-time exchange with them. I believe it's a good thing to keep in touch using the technology. Otherwise, we cannot reach most of them.
Exactly.
Sorry, I talked a lot.
Thanks. No worries. And thanks for coming forward and sharing that. That was really good, right? So if if I may apply that same framework to what you just said, the problem is, or the outcome there is, we want to be in touch. We want to let them feel that, hey, we are there for you till the end. We care about you, right? The strategy there could be, hey, can we build out a database of people where we have their updated email, where we have their updated addresses, their phone numbers, so that we are always in touch. We do not lose out on that touch. We know if they change addresses, or they change locations, we have the updated information on them. And then the tactical tool can be, maybe one tactical tool can be using Excel spreadsheets. But then the question comes, is it scalable? When we are talking of tens of thousands of people here, is it scalable, right? Can we maybe use a dedicated database tool, or can we use Almabase, which can, act as a database if needed, can connect to their Facebook or LinkedIn account and pull in updated information about them, so that even if they move positions, even if they change their locations or change their contact information, we have updated information about them, right? And that's where a tool like Almabase can fit in. So if that's the problem you're trying to solve, these are the multiple ways. And then you can select, is Excel the right tool for you? Or is a dedicated database tool like Salesforce or Razor's Edge the right set of tools for you? Or is Almabase a right set of tool for you? Right. So those are the, I just wanted to leave you with that framework to don't think of this, that you have to use Almabase, you have to learn this feature or that feature. You have to solve that problem. That's what you are there for. That's why you are working with Harmony. You have to build that programs and then tell us what you want to achieve through what strategy, and we will help you implement that. We will help you scale it. We will help you drive that program effectively, right? So
yeah.
Do we have to use Almabase?
Great question, and I will let Berkan answer it.
Jokes aside, though, I think just to give my 2 cents, I think it's very important. This is something I try to do whenever I interact with students, is before I tell them what something is or how it works, I try to explain why it's valuable or why they should listen or, get to know it or put it into practice. So I do appreciate your, initial angle on this training being like, what's the whole point of me teaching you Almabase kind of thing? I think that's very important. Having said that, in all honesty, I feel like going into the training saying that we're going to learn about the website, we were kind of maybe not all expecting, this in-depth explanation of why Almabase rather than what Almabase. So I think some of the, all of us guys listening may or may not have, been ready for not getting to the meat and bones of Almabase right off the bat. So I think that's kind of why we're kind of, maybe waiting more before we talk or something for, the Almabase. But I do appreciate you getting into why Almabase before what Almabase. I do appreciate that.
Thanks, Etik, for sharing that thought. And I hope that this came as a good and a positive surprise to all of you talking about the why factor. And now, right, now once we have this framework to think about why we are even having this meeting, now we will start to get into the what and how of it, right? What are the different tools or means available for you to implement some of the strategies, some of the programs that you have. And then we will dive one by one into each of those tools on how you can use it, how does it work, what you can change, what you can build, what you can customize. So we will start diving into it, right? And but before I end this first session of ours, where we build this framework and we break for 2 minutes to have a quick break. I know it has been a long session so far and intense as well. So before I get to that before we start the second session and have that break, right, I just want to give you a quick overview of Arma base, and then as something as a food for thought, I would encourage you to think about, hey, now we have an understanding of the tool we have on our hand. We have Alma base as a tool. How many is paying for it? How many are subscribed for it? How can we make the best out of that tool, right? We know our problems. We know our programs. We have the tool in hand. How we can map all of this using the framework that we have just talked about. So if I may start to share my screen again, right? As some of you might have explored the platform, some of you might have gone in and sign up and took a more hands-on approach to find out what this alumni platform is. So as you can see, this is a website, if you may, or a platform, if you may, where different pieces come together. You have a social media section, you have an event section. The real value is you have an online directory where you can have profiles, you can have different set of filters based on the schools the different alumni went into, the class, and all those different things. Then you have groups or communities, which we just talked about, right? You have pages, ability to create content and pages, post videos. You have the ability to host events, just like the event you went through for attending this program, having a full-fledged event management system where you can have tickets, you can have sub-events, right? Managing if you're doing a virtual event or a webinar, managing that whole program, right? So those are the different set of tools you now have on your hand as part of the Harmony network, right? And the framework now, your problems. Can you now start connecting those or mapping those problems and see how this tool can help you? That would be, I believe, would be the real success of this whole training program. If we can help you get better at what you do, even by 1%, help save even 1% of your time by bringing in this tool, I think that would be a success that even Birkin was hoping to achieve when we talked about this training program.
Exactly. Thank you, Rohit. Let's give 2 minutes stretch break. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Let's make it 5 minutes, not 2 minutes, like 2:10. We are coming back, right? And don't leave. Just
right. So let's catch up in next 5 minutes. And like I said, now we will get deeper into how some of the fundamentals and more tactical stuff, how do these tools work and how we can start using them, right? We will take a very hands-on approach, going through each feature detail by detail. So yeah, I'll just leave with that thought and let you get to your break and relax a bit to gear up for the next session where I'll be doing a lot of talking. So please bear with me. See you after the break. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, and I think a few people have joined in. Initially, we were around 25, 26 people. Now we are around 30. So that's great. Great to see that. All right, so let's get started and let's talk about the Alma-based platform now and talk about it in a piece-by-piece fashion so that you get a complete understanding of how the whole tool works, what are the different tools available, how you can use them, and then the key piece, the framework that we talked about, you can drive your programs using that tool. Right, so I'll start by sharing my screen again, and we can just get started. For our first session or the overview or the getting started with Alma-based session. Burkin, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Right. So before I just get started, when you registered for this workshop, you would have got an email with your own registration kit, I guess, which is unique to you, where we have this announcement section, that we would be using to share important updates and resources with you. For example, after today's session, let's say you want to have a refresher, right? Or this training session that we are having so that you could refer to it later, right? We would be sharing the recording for that. Some of the examples that I referred to on our call today, right? I would be sharing this through the announcement section. And if all of you who registered for this program would have access to it. So just keep an eye out for this section and you can download those resources and save it for your later use, right? And before we started with this program, I also shared some instructions on how to create an account on the Harmony Alumni platform, what is the URL for that, and how you can be a part of that platform, right? I believe some of you might have gone through that process and experienced it firsthand, but if not, that's what we are going to do now. We are going to run through that process step by step, understand how that works, and if you have any questions or suggestions to make that better or to see of how it would fit into your workflows, right? So let's get started. So this is the Harmony alumni platform that we have on the domain alumni.harmonytx.org. Anybody on the internet globally who has access to this link can come onto this page. But does that mean they get access to all the resources that we have just for the Harmony community here? Do they get access to the data that you have been building for helping these students? Or do they get to participate in these events or see some of the sensitive stuff, let's say the jobs and opportunities or the webinar recordings which are relevant just for your community, right? The answer is no. While the platform is globally available, the content on it or whatever the content you see here changes based on if you are logged in or not. So there is a signing in or an opting in or a registration process involved where you need to opt in into the platform. You have to go through a verification process, and somebody like Birkin, who manages this Harmony Alumni program or Harmony Alumni platform, have to approve your access or say that, this person is a member of the community and should get access to the platform, right? So that might address your first concern of, is this platform safe, or is this, is there a gate there which somebody has to go through before accessing the content or information here, right? So that's the first step, right? Now let's move on to the the next set of questions. How do I get access to this content, or how do I become a part of this platform or this community, right? So I'll try and open this in an incognito window where I'm logged out of my admin account and run you through that experience. Right, so as you can see now, I'm logged out, and let's say if I try to access the search, right, I don't get access to any of the data. It says you need to be logged in to access any of the results or access any of the information, right? That's what I was just referring to, right? And then as an outsider or as somebody who's coming to this page for the first time, I see that it's a website with different navigation menus, with different content out there. It has linked to all the Harmony social media pages. It's talking about a news board. There's an events listing where events are listed and on what day they're happening. It has a social media component to it. It has a gallery section where the different images from schools are shared. It has a career center module where the jobs and internships and other opportunities could be listed. A needs section, which could act like an open forum, right? Hey, I'm new to Chicago. What's the best restaurant out there to go? A question maybe like that, right? But for in a Harmony context or in the context of this platform, the questions could be, what are the good bookstores in Chicago area to go around and buy some books, or what are some good fun activities that students can try in this college, right? It's an open platform for any kind of discussion. Mentors who are available, the alumni who have done a wonderful job of supporting this whole program so far, and then any other content that you would want to list, right? So this is what they see. Now, how do they access or become a part of this platform? If they feel that this is valuable enough, they can get value out of this platform, right? They have to sign in or register. And then there are three options that they're presented with through which they can sign in, either through their Facebook account or with LinkedIn or through their email, right? So let's try and run through what happens when I try to log in through my email. I come to this page where, typically like any other online service that you're using, like your Netflix, like your Amazon, you have an email ID or password which you can create. But since I'm a first-time user, I hit on create account to create an account for me here, where I'm asked, first the basic set of questions. So I could just fill in that information quickly, set a password, right? And then comes the first set of important questions, which ask me, how do I connect back to this community, or what is my role here on this platform? Am I an alumni? Am I a student? Or am I a faculty or staff, right? And how, this information would help, as we would see later in this session. You can then boil down to on the platform and run a query saying that, hey, show me a list of people who are alumni, and create an email group for them, right? Or show me a list of people who are onto this platform but are students. So you can pull a list of all those people and maybe create an email group for them or send them an email, right? Let's say you are running a program which might not be relevant for students and might create confusion rather than solving their problems, and they should not get access to it. So can you configure permissions or controls on the platform based on the role they have? So this is where this information comes in, and all of this would start to make more sense once we progress into this session, but just giving you a heads up of why this information matters and how it helps, right? And obviously it helps you verify my connection or my affinity with the institute in question, right? So let's say if I select alumni as my affiliation here, then
So
I will
there's
hit on
there's
create
no
account.
there's no option to pick more than one, because technically
On this
you're
page,
picking alumni and staff.
yeah, that's a great question, right? And that's something which is we observe commonly across all of the schools that we work with. People have multiple affiliations. You could be an alumni and staff as well. But here you would select your primary affiliation, your current role with the institute, which I believe in your case would be a staff, right? Because that's how you're currently affiliated with Harmony. That's your main role with the institute right now. So you would select staff and you would accordingly get roles here, but on your profile, which we'll just get to, you would have an option to express that, hey, though I am a staff, but I'm also an alumni of the institute here. And so that you will also get listed on the alumni directory, right? So to answer your question, on this page, you can only select one role because it is tied to your verification. It is telling Birkin or whoever is managing this website that this person has signed up and his primary role is staff, and then he can verify that against a list. Maybe Birkin is maintaining a staff list in his computer, and he could verify your name and see that, yeah, this is a verified member and he should get access to, right? But there
I
would be
think,
a way for you to,
yeah, Rohit, sorry about that. This
yeah,
verification
no,
process will be done by each and every CTCs in this webinar, because they will have this permission to verify users. When they
right.
see pending applications waiting for approval, they will see which campus he or she is applying. If this is my campus, if there is any way they can filter this during this pending verification, they can quickly check and verify them because they know them. But someone from
Exactly.
central office, it is very, very difficult. So we want this verification process to be done campus level, just for everyone's attention.
That makes perfect sense. And thanks, Broken, for bringing that up. And I'll just get to that part of, once you get access to the platform and once you are an admin, Birkin, he's being an admin right now would enable that access for you once you sign up, how you can execute that workflow. So that could be one tactical thing that we can learn from this session on how you can approve your campus students or your campus alumni on this platform, right? And thanks, Birkin, for giving me heads up. I'll just get to that part, right? Then you fill in your basic information, the location you are on, right? I'll just try and fill in some. I'm currently, let's say, in Boston, right? And these are my year of entry, year of leaving, which campus I was a part of, which Vulcan was just saying. So I could select that option from this list.
You know what? This is something I want to bring to your attention, Rohit. We changed campus names into original name, but it is nearly impossible to see the complete name of campus. You see, if you click, you see Harmony School of Excellence, but which excellence? Is it Dallas? Is it Laredo? It's nearly impossible. It's not possible to see. That's why I took a note. If there is any way we can shorten this campus names again. I didn't know that this would be a problem in the drop-down menu. Does it make sense?
Interesting. Yes, it does. It does. So let me just make a note of it, Birkin.
Yeah.
Right, that's something
we can talk afterwards,
me.
But this is a challenge.
Yeah, that does make sense. So let me just make a note of it, and you and me can discuss that offline on how we can structure this. Right? Maybe if we could come up with a short name, right?
Yes.
Let's say Harmony School of Business can be HSB, and then the location name,
Dallas,
which could help identify. Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah, but coming back, let's say if I select this option, right, and then my grad category, whether I'm a student, a graduate, or a former student, right? And if I want to check this option, if it relates to me, then I hit on proceed.
What's the difference between Harmony graduate and Harmony former student? Does one mean I dropped out?
Yeah, didn't graduate
Birkin,
from
do you want
Harmony.
to answer that?
Yeah. Former student means he attended Harmony but left Harmony before graduation.
Right, and then there's a checkbox through which they can indicate if they dropped before graduating.
Yeah.
Right, but they still are a part of the community, and like somebody mentioned on the call earlier, we still want to be in touch with them, right? Still want to provide value to them, so that's why it makes sense for them to join this platform and get value out of it, right? And then comes a section of preferences, right, where you can potentially ask questions, right, and take feedback from them on how we can help you, right? Or let's say for somebody like Alumni who's signing up, on how he can give back to the community. Is he ready to be a class representative, or is he ready to provide mentorship to students, or is he willing to be a mentor or a college guide, right? So this is an opportunity for you to capture preferences or to capture how certain set of people want to give back, right? And this is these are the options that you see are generic. If you think there should be more options to it, or if you want to remove some of the options, we could do all of that, right? But the important thing here is there is an opportunity for you to capture or do a survey, if I may say, from your constituents who are signing up onto the platform, and capture that information, right? And where it gets helpful is, let's say you think a good program to start off could be a class representative program, where each of those class representatives can be the admins of the communities or the groups we talked about and help you with that college guide program. Now, once you start implementing, the first challenge is, who are these people, right? Who are willing to be a class rep? So this is an opportunity. This is a tool for you to capture that information. Once you capture that information, there are workflows or mechanisms on the platform to help you pull out a list of people who said yes to being a representative. And then, the downstream workflows, like sending them a message, creating a separate community for them, all those different things would come in to help implement that program, right? So I think now all those, what we talked about in the session one would start making sense as we start to see some of the tactical stuff or tools, right? So you could select those preferences and hit on proceed. And then if you want to connect your Facebook and LinkedIn, and how it helps is with Facebook and LinkedIn, a social sync happens. So we are able to connect to your Facebook account or your LinkedIn account. And let's say if you update your location on Facebook or on LinkedIn or your contact information or your profile picture, all of that gets updated on Alma base, right? So if you connect your Facebook or LinkedIn account, a social sync happen, and Alma base can always keep a track of your updated information, connecting back to the problem of not losing touch, making sure we know where our alumni or students are, right? So yeah, this was on the registration workflow, and then you hit and you go on to your profile. But coming back to the question with which I started with, does this mean I get access? I signed up, but do I have access to all the resources? If yes, then this way anybody could come in. Rohit, who is not a part of the Harmony community, can also come in and sign up. So where is that verification process? Where is that approval thing that you were talking about? And this is how it happens. So if I pull up this infographic here, which would summarize this process of registration. Right. So as we saw, there are 3 modes through which somebody can get access to this platform: through an email or through their social media. Right. When they sign up through email, just like I did, they have to verify. There's an additional step involved where they have to verify that that email belongs to me. I have to say that or verify that rohit@almabase.com belongs to me, so that I don't go in and sign up using Birkin's email, right? So the email will be sent to my inbox, and I have to click on a link there to get verified, right? And now, once I do that, a new workflow triggers where 2 things happen. If the email that I just used, or the email that I used while creating my account on Facebook or LinkedIn, exists on the Harmony database, right? Which is already there on Alma base. While we were setting this platform up a few years back, Workin shared a list of all the people who are a part of the Harmony network. And each year, he also shares a new graduate list, a 2020 graduate list, 2021 graduate list. So we keep on adding those people onto Alma base database, right? So Alma base has the information of all the alumni, all the students of Harmony, which Workin or going forward, maybe some of you would be sharing for each of your campus, right? So if that email exists on the database, that means a verification has happened, the email is matched, you are a part of the Harmony community, and that's why you are on database, and now you're accessing it, so you get verified and become a verified user, right? But if not, right, maybe you signed up with a different email, maybe the email on the database is your Harmony's school email or your work email, but you signed up using your personal email or you created a new account. Then there is nothing to match it against with, and then there comes a verification process, right? Though there is a manual step involved there, but the good side to it is you are now getting updated information about them, right? So going back to that same problem of having updated data and not losing touch. So you do that verification process and they become a verified user. So this is how the whole sign up and the registration workflow process works, making sure that only the right set of people get access to the platform. And now
Rohit, we have a challenge as an organization. I think my friends will also agree. Our students have an assigned email address since elementary school. So they have been using the same email address, Harmony email. But when it comes to graduation, when they leave, they don't have access to their emails anymore. Unfortunately, this is an issue we need to fix somehow, because they are no longer Harmony's employees, Harmony's current students. Their accounts are closed.
right.
If somehow Harmony allows graduates to continue using their Harmony email, then I think this would be a lot easier, because emails are already active. We send a verification to the email, and we ask them to log into with their Harmony email. So the verification process will be a lot easier, but that's our challenge.
Exactly, and that's a very valid use case, Broken. And I'm sure you have given this feedback to us before as well. And the good news here is uh, we have built out a system that can help us solve this challenge, where we can identify or verify your identity irrespective of that just one email that you're using, or that just one email that we hold on to, right? I can still say that you are Birkin based on your other email address, right? So that system is, as we speak today, is in development, and in a couple of months from today, exactly, you would see that new system and verification process coming in.
Wonderful.
Which would help us solve this exact challenge of verifying the users, or if the email gets blocked or the email is no longer valid, how do they get access to the platform? So yeah, that's a very valid concern, and it's in development right now.
Sure. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Birkin, for bringing that up, and I'm making a note of all these changes so that we can have our conversation later.
Sure.
Right. But yeah, coming back, so this was the process. Somebody gets access to, right? And this is something, like Perkins said, you would be dealing on a day-to-day basis, where a few people would be getting already verified, but a few would use their personal email or a different email for that matter, and you would have to verify them. And now we would just get to the process of how do you become an admin, and how does this whole verification process works? What do you need to do to verify somebody, right? So let's come back to our platform. So this is maybe an immediate to-do for all of you guys after this call. You could just go onto the platform here and create an account. Just like we saw, in case you get stuck or need resources, you could go to your registration kit. And I've already mentioned some resources there which you could use to understand how you can create an account on the platform, right? Once you are done with that, because you are coming in, Birkin would get notified. He's an admin right now, and he would approve your access. And once your access is approved, you would get an email, and he will also enable the right set of permissions for you, depending on your role with this platform. And once that is done, you will log into your platform. You would see your name right here, just like you see my name, and you would see this admin option, which would take you to the admin side of things, which only a few people would have access to. People like you who work with the Harmony Alumni office, right? It will tell you how many records, the number of the data points that Birkin shared with us, the files that Birkin shared with us are there on the platform, how many people actually came in and created accounts, right? Actually went through that sign up or registration process, how many emails did we send through the platform. Obviously, this is not a piece which is relevant for us. That's why it says 0 here. How many jobs and internships got posted, how many events registrations happened, and obviously the pending approvals. So this is one outcome that we have to achieve to reduce this number and to approve people as quickly as possible, right? But this is your admin dashboard, which would give you a sense of how things are at a very high level, right? But let's say you are somebody who is primarily involved with communications, or who's primarily involved with events, or who's primarily involved with managing approval workflows. You would have your own set of reporting dashboards where you can go much deeper into each of these reports and get finer insights onto what are the different set of events you did, which events got how many registrations, how many people actually checked in for that event. So you would have your own set of reports depending on which kind of module you are dealing with. But this is for somebody like Perkin who's managing the entire platform, the entire program, to get a very high level overview and understand how we are doing. Right?
Quick question, Rohit. Think about the district person. Let's say district A. That district A person has 3 campuses, A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z. Let's say campus X, CTC, Career and Transition Advisor, counselor, will have access to only his or her campus alumni. And the district will have access to only to district alumni records. Do we have that kind of permission in Alma base, or how can we set this up? Instead of seeing all, I just want to see my campus alumni, my events only. Can we do that? Is there any permission that allows us to do that?
That's interesting. I think there can be a way we can make that happen, Birkin, but
Yeah.
I would have to check on that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Something to think
right.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So making sure that when you're saying that when somebody comes in, he should see only data pertaining to
Yeah.
his district or his campus.
All the data related to his or her campus, all the features related that he or she can use it for his or her campus. Does it make sense? Like if I give an admin permission to campus X advisor, that person should have all the admin permissions for that campus. Same thing for district. Let's say district A has 3 campuses, X, Y, and Z. That district person will have access to all admin features for those 3 campuses. I don't know, like during the registration process, I choose my campus, maybe that it will be tied to that information. And if we can arrange permissions, accessibility based on that will help a lot.
Yeah, that's an interesting feedback. We can let me actually check on that with the product and the engineering team, and see how we can make that happen,
Sure.
if possible.
Yeah, if possible.
Right. But this is the overall dashboard, as you can see, for the entire network. This is not campus wise, and that could be something we'll discuss if we can make that happen. Right. But coming to that question that we were trying to answer, or how do you approve somebody? Right. And more specifically, because you will be involved with your own individual campuses, how do you see a list of people from your campus and approve them? Right. So you'll go to this filter, this place, because you're dealing with data. So you'll go, you'll just click on this option here to open up the admin menu. And you will go to data management and data studio. Right, and I'll be, don't worry about that you might forget this. I'll be sharing the resources after the training program to help you with exact help articles and screenshots and videos, which explain the same thing I'm doing today. So you will always have access to the resources to help you with the steps to be followed, but this might just give you a sense, right? So once I come in here, I have the access to the entire database, and then I can, first thing that I want to deal is with my own campus, right? So this is a one-time activity that you would have to do. So, once we, let's say, fix these names, make them shorter so that the entire name is visible. Let's say you are with Harmony School of Business, you apply that filter, and I would recommend when you are doing this for the first time, since you will be dealing only with your campus, save it as a filter, right? So next time, whenever you are coming onto this page, you won't have to apply this filter all and over again. You would only see records or data pertaining to this campus, right? So do that. First time when you come in, you have to apply this filter called campus. Select the campus from the list that you are a part of, and hit on save filter to save that view for all your future activities and tasks, right? So that's, now we have boiled down to the records of the people from a particular campus, and now we want to see how many people from this campus have just signed up and needs to be approved, right? So because we are talking about the registration status, we will apply a filter called registration status is any off, and wait, pending approval if they are in the pending approval stage. So we will just apply that filter here, pending approval, and hit on apply. And now you will get a list of people who are in the pending approval stage here, right? Maybe nobody here from the Harmony School of Business. So maybe if I change the campus, I will be able to pick up somebody, get a list of people who might have been in here. Not a good example again.
Try
Maybe
Harmony
I'm just
Science
running into.
Academy. Yeah. So these are Science Academy. Yeah. Houston. The first one. Yeah. Not Lubbock.
First
Lubbock
one.
is no longer. Yeah. Harmony Science Academy. You see, that's the challenge. We need to fix those. Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be that one. Let's see if we have any. So we don't have anybody waiting for approval. So is there any pending approval? Maybe pending verification, email ID verification?
Yeah, let me. Yeah, there are
Yeah.
a lot of people who are in the pending email ID verification stage. So if you see, as per this process, they are stuck in this stage.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that might be because of what Birkin just said. They may no longer have access to that email, right? Or if they were using up their personal email account, maybe they did not go back and have approved that, click on that email to get approved, right? So in this case, the next step that you would want to take is send them an email again so that they get notified and are nudged to uh, sign up is resend verification email, right? So this is the action you could take for these kind of people. Let's say if the filter was alumni who are in the pending approval stage, then the action you would take is either you can do it one by one if you want to take a uh, more careful approach, but if you want to do it all at once for all your campus alumni who are pending, you just quickly skim through the list, see their details, and if you're because you work with these folks closely, you would be able to identify them with their names and email, right? Just select all of them at once, right? Click here to select all the 29 records, and then go to admin actions, account access, approve access, right? And all of them would get approved. So this is how your first workflow that you will be doing from here on a daily basis of approving incoming registrations of alumni or students from your campus uh, is achieved. You go to Data Studio, you would have already saved your filter. You would apply a filter based on registration status, pending approval, and you can just approve their access.
Rohit, I have a quick question for everyone. Do you, like, how many of you doesn't have account, like Alma Base account, alumni website account? Can you please write in the chat box and
That would be
make
great.
sure, yeah, make sure you apply. I have seen Eric just recently made an application. I approved him. So he has an account. I just need to increase his permissions, change his permissions so that he can do verification. But if you don't have any account, please go ahead and register with your email address, Harmony email address, like Rohit mentioned here, so that we can create your accounts. Okay. If you can also write in the chat box and like take 1 or 2 minutes to create your account with your Harmony email, I would really appreciate, so that we can get it done and I can change your permissions so that you can see all these features. Thank you.
But can I just have a quick question? Do
Sure.
we need to go into the detail of how do we enable admin access for somebody? If you are going to be
I
the
will
one,
do it. So I will do it. So
yeah,
we don't need to go into.
Yeah, thanks. Just wanted to quickly check that.
I think this
Right,
registration process is very critical, Rohit. Thank you for going
yeah, that's
over. That's top
it's very
priority.
critical to understand this process because this is the first step of for somebody getting access to this platform. This would be something you would be dealing in volumes on a daily basis.
Yes.
So it's really important you understand this thoroughly of what's the whole process. And to make things easier for you, like I just said, you can create your filters. You can just say create a filter of pending approvals, name it as select the school, and then select the registration status and save it as a filter that you can always come back to, right? So you have multiple saved views for you to make your daily routines easier. And we will see as we proceed with the training sessions on, this is one place for which you use this feature called Data Studio. But what are the other options available on Data Studio, right? This is one workflow that we just talked about, and you can save it as, for your one workflow for one of your daily tasks, you can save it as pending approval filter, right? Sorry about that. And save, right? So whenever you log in and come in here, you could see this view, right? And execute that task. If you are executing other workflow, you could create a save filter for that and come to that screen and execute that workflow, right?
Can you do something else, Rohit? Can you create a filter for the same campus, Harmony Science Academy, Houston, the ones who did not register to the system?
Yes.
So that we will know our target population. You can change the campus name to Harmony Science Academy. This is different. This is advancement. Click Harmony Science Academy, Houston, go up, yeah. And
right.
registration.
And now you want to,
yeah. The students who did not register.
Exactly, right? So that's the first filter that you apply, right? Now you want to drive more people to the platform. That's your outcome. That's a goal that you're trying to solve. And you want to know a list of people who haven't registered so far. So
exactly.
For that, the filter would be, are they registered? So is registered is the filter that you would apply, and is no, because that's the people we are looking for, right? And here an apply filter, and you see out of 1,000 odd records, we boiled down to around some 932 people who haven't registered yet. Their profile, their record, their information exists on system, but they haven't come and followed that whole process we just talked about and created an account, right?
So this is one key thing we provided to you when you set up their account, but these students did not opt into the website. They didn't come and register to the website. Our job is to get them to the website.
Exactly. And this could be your other save filters. You could call this, the list of people I need. Yeah, whatever the name alumni, which would help you. Yeah, which would click with you, right? That's under workflow you could execute on a daily basis as part of your daily jobs or daily routines, right? But what is very, very crucial to understand here from our technical perspective, from this platform perspective, is the difference between a record and an account, right? A record or a profile is something that can exist on the system. It can be created because of you sharing the data with us. It can be created by you, right? But an account can only be created by a user. So Birkin can have a record on the system which can be created by me. I can type in Birkin's information and create a profile for him, but I cannot create an account for Birkin. That has to be done by Birkin because of this process involved, because he has to verify his email. That only Birkin can do. So an account has a person, has a user associated with it, but a profile is just a record, is just a set of information like an Excel spreadsheet. I hope that makes sense. Right? And the way you can identify records is a very quick visual indicator to identify if it is an account or a record is this blue check mark, right? If you see this person does not have this blue tick mark, but this person has. That's a visual indicator to indicate this is an account, not a record. This has a person or a user associated, right? If you see accounts or the profiles with also a yellow eye mark sign, that means this person is still stuck in the registration process. He might be somewhere here. He has not completed the entire process, and that's why he is, there is one more sign indicating that he is stuck in the registration process and he's not listed on the directory yet as a verified member.
So Rohit, we have 3 team members. They try to register to the system. And right now it was waiting for them to go to their email and verify the email. I send the email verification reminder one more time. If they go and click that, and then I will be able to approve their accounts. Just
Exactly.
for your information, yeah.
Exactly. Right. So this is the one key thing, and that's why I spent so much of time and got into so many nitty-gritties here, because this is something you would be doing on a daily basis, and it's very important to understand what's a profile, what's an account, how does somebody get access, how do you approve them, where do you see their entry, and you can see every information about them, right? Even their email address, their phone number, right? All the different information they filled on to their form, right? You can search from here and know their information if you would like to know more about that person, right? So that's on the first workflow, or your daily workflow of approving users, driving them to the platform, right? The next set is from here on, we would start to talk about the different modules, right? The directory, the events, the pages, the email communication system, which you can use to send out mass emails or bulk emails to all people, share monthly newsletters, share scholarship opportunities, right? So from here on, whatever we talk about, there are 2 sides to it that you need to remember. One is the user side, or the alumni side that you see on my screen right now, that a normal user would see, right? And then the second side is an admin side, or an administrator view, which only you as the Harmony team member would have access to, right? So from here on, whatever we talk about, whatever feature we talk about will have 2 faces. One is the user face, how would a user or a student or an alumni would experience, and one is the admin face, how would you experience it, how would you configure it, how would you design some of the things onto the platform, design your emails or design your pages, right? So just wanted to set that context up before we start diving into each of these different modules or features onto the platform.
Okay. Wonderful, Rohit.
Right.
I think that's the end of the training for today, right? So we'll be continuing on Monday.
Yeah, we'll definitely will be, but Birkin, if you don't mind, can we go on for like 5 or 10 more minutes? I just
Sure.
want to
Yeah,
finish
no,
one more. Yeah, just wanted to finish one more piece for today. And then on Monday, we can, so that we are done with the basics and the getting started portion. And then on Monday, we can take, for example, content creation or email tools or communication workflows, right? And the event management and career sides of things on the platform.
Wonderful.
All right. So the thing that I very quickly wanted to talk about, respecting the time we have, is the directory piece, right? You can call it by any names. For example, on different platforms, you have different names for it. And that's, again, something for you to configure, the search or the directory, or you could call it like, the example we saw, they call it the career guides, right? So let's say if you're creating a career guides directory, you could call it career guides directory. If you're calling a college guide directory, you could call it that, right? So those are the things for you to think about, and we will get to those specifics once you identify the problem or the program you're trying to implement. But yeah, coming to the directory, this is where all the folks would get listed. So think from a user perspective. I come in here as a student, and I'm looking in for somebody from, let's say, Harmony School of Excellence, Austin. And I know he is from the class of 2015. So from 900 odd people, I boiled down to 20 people. Then let's say the other information I know about him, that he is a graduate. He did graduate from the Harmony program. Or let's say I know he's currently living in the state of Texas, right? So I boiled down to the 3 people who are currently in state of Texas, who are from Harmony School of Excellence, Austin, and are from class of 2015. So what I'm trying to convey here is using directory, there are certain set of parameters you can apply or use as filters. This is the information that we capture on their, if you noticed on the registration workflow, we capture their year of entry, year of leaving, their education, their campus, their location, right? And then I arrive at the people I was searching for. Let's say Dana here is the person I was searching for and I want to connect with. I can now click on her profile and I'm looking to connect with her to discuss about a project. I can send her a message, but making sure I respect her privacy. So I don't get access to her email. Her email is masked, but I could still send her a email being a member of this platform, right? So this is where Harmony is adding value. As a member of the Harmony community, I'm getting access to the alumni network of which Harmony has built on over years and decades, and is providing me with access to facilitate that connection. So let's say once Dana approves my request and is ready to work with me or mentor me on my project, I could maybe even go to her place. I could meet her at a coffee shop. I could have her WhatsApp number or her Facebook number or Snapchat if she is a millennial or if she is on Snapchat, right? Right. But what we did here is facilitate that connection, made that initial connection, and that's where our job gets done. Once that connection happened, it's up to them on how they want to take the relationship, the mentor relationship or the friend relationship forward, right? As the alumni office or as the Harmony organization, we need to facilitate that connection, connect people with the right resources. And this is where this kind of workflow would come in. So let's say, as a career counselor, if you get questions like, hey, I want to talk, I understand what you're saying, but I would like to verify this. I would like to talk to a few people who can relate to my problem. So you could guide them to a page like this. Tell them how they can access a directory like this, apply the right set of filters to reach out to people like this and get in touch with them. And if that connection happens and if they find the right mentor, that interaction can happen on any platform they're comfortable with, whether it's a physical meetup or a WhatsApp chat, right? And then on the profile, as you can see, only the basic details are visible, but sensitive information like their birthday information, their contact information is masked by default. I can see it right now because I am logged in as an administrator. So I can see this information, but no other users would see it, right? And then the other information which Dana has shared on her profile about her Harmony education, about the other education she did. So after graduating from Harmony, she went to University of the Incarnate Word. She did some course here. She is now at University of Texas, Austin, right? So these are the different ways people can see this information. But for a profile owner, let's say if Dana comes to this page, she will see this option of updating her profile. So she will hit on update profile and she can share, let's say if her information got updated, she can add that information, change her phone number. Let's say she did one more course, she can add that education information here. Let's say she started working, she could share her employer experience, right? So all these different things can happen. But if we go back to the example we were talking about at the beginning of this call, where we were talking about that framework, right? Can we, let's say if we are trying to create that career guide program, can we use profile as a tool to achieve that workflow or to achieve that outcome? Can we create a directory of such career guides where people can go in and apply this filter? Then let's say search for the people who did diplomas or professional courses, and then get information about them, see what kind of experience they have had or how they are doing, right? So now I think you would be able to connect the dots on why I was taking that example and how this directory plays as a tactical tool fit into that program and help solve the problem of people are not sure if they should go to college or what that career means for them. How much would they be able to do if they choose that career? How much of the money would they be able to make if they choose that career?
So Rohit, how
Right?
do you get this additional data on their profile? Like here in career guide, you know, how much money they're making initially, how much they will make in an experienced position. You mentioned that you pulled this
Right.
data from a survey or something. How did you put them over here?
Yes. Right. So there are three steps involved in that process, Perkins. First is, identifying the people who we can reach out
Mm-hmm.
to, right? At the end of then the step is what kind of questions do we need to ask, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
very most important to think about. What kind of questions can help us address that problem we are trying to solve,
Mm-hmm.
where people are not sure if they should choose this career, right? So designing that form, and once we capture the responses through that form, we can upload that information just like we upload profiles onto a profile structure,
Okay.
like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? But this was just one example. This is a very customized solution that we did for them because of the kind of the goals that we were trying to drive.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an idea for you. Maybe you want to do something similar, and once you identify that challenge or once you identify that solution, we can talk about how we can make that happen, right?
Sure.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
But what is important here is to identify what kind of, first, the problem, the program that can help us solve it, and then is Alma Base the right tool? If Excel is the right tool to do it, by all means, please use Excel. If LinkedIn is the right means to solve that outcome, by all means, please use LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be, we are not here to say that Alma Base is the solution to all of your problems. Right? You would not come to Alma Base to watch a movie. You would go to Netflix because that's the platform which is built to watch movies, or you don't come to Alma Base to share your photos because Facebook or Instagram is there. But you come here to get access to Harmony Alumni Network, right? So if that's the problem you're trying to solve, Alma Base is the right tool. So again, you need to identify the problem, build your program, and then decide, is Alma Base offering you the right set of tools to implement that?
Wonderful.
Awesome. So I think we have had enough for today. I won't keep you for long, but I hope this was helpful to give you an overview of what Alma Base is. If I'm not wrong, some of you mentioned you were not aware of what Alma Base is, and I hope you have some clarity now of what this tool can do, what are the tools available at your disposal, and why you are going through this training program, more importantly, right? And how it can help you get better at some of your daily workflows. And I really hope that first session that we did, where we talked about the framework to use the tool to identify a problem, would help you to drive some of the outcomes that you are responsible for.
Thank you. I just want to like 1 minute reflection time for our audience, like participants, what they have learned today, briefly. And I will be doing some cold calling instead of volunteers. I'm kidding. Yeah. So is there any volunteer who wants to briefly say what you learned today in 30 seconds?
Yeah, that would
And
be
do you
great.
think Alma Base will solve some of our challenges, and how?
Thank you, Rohit, first of all, for all the information. I personally think I've tried to use this for the last semester, and I think it really streamlines all of the organization of all of the alumni. Before, we just used to compile all the data on I'm not even exaggerating when I say hundreds of Excel sheets of the of every single grade, every single year of alumni. So now it's all in one neat place, and I can even borrow the groups made by Mr. Kaya, so I don't have to put the students in myself, and all of that just makes my life easier. So I appreciate the database for that.
Thank you, Mr.
Awesome.
Tash.
Right. And we
Another
would,
reflection?
as we dive,
Sorry, Rohit.
yeah, I was just saying, thanks for sharing that, Alperen. And as we dive deeper, you would love the database capabilities and what kind of actions you can take on that data, right? And you would really appreciate the kind of workflows you could execute using that database tool, which makes this much more powerful than an Excel sheet.
Another reflection you would like to share? One more person? I know we have some good talkers here. And
Yep.
maybe today is Friday afternoon, you know,
Yep. I think
that
that's
should be
what
the
is.
reason. No pressure on anybody, but
Into someone
thank.
specifically when you say good talkers? It's like as if you were trying to point someone out, Mr.
We
Kaya.
have some great potential over here. I know people who likes to make reflections and share their knowledge. Ms. Kartal, would you like to say something?
Well, I've been with we've used Elma Base before. I know there are some new faces here, but for those who have been doing this job as long as I have, it's a useful platform and it really helps connect with the alumni. But the only concern is trying to get your alumni to actually register, because no matter how much information you add, no matter how many events you create, if your alumni are not on that platform, then there's no point. So the utmost duty, the first duty that we have to do, especially for our new colleagues, is to get our alumni added or registered onto that platform. Once we do, the rest is really easy: creating the events, notifying them, getting them to register to those events. All that is a breeze. That first note is what's most important.
I think last
Right.
year good because I think it was better than the previous years. Mr. Kaya sent us the exit survey, so we took the class of 2020 to the classrooms and we wanted them to fill out that exit survey. One of them was asking, one of the questions was, if they have registered the alumni webpage, and if not, we wanted them to register there. In two ways, it was very helpful because we could ask their personal email, because they were writing using their student emails, which we cannot use after they graduate. And we got their mobile phone numbers, plus we wanted them to register in front of us, the alumni website. So when they are in our hands, if we can manage to force them, I don't want to use forcing, but if they want to help them to register the alumni web page, we will have enough. And also the other thing, when we make call for college check-ins nowadays, or at the beginning of the year, we can remind them if they have already registered, signed up for the website.
I think the organic way of getting into the website would be offering this to the seniors before they leave.
Right.
They can organize their events through the website. They can sign up for events. They can receive alumni newsletter as a prospective alumni. So, and they can be a part of the savings program, so that they are organically
Exactly.
registered and they can continue. Can you hear?
Right, Birkin. So if you think about this ties back to that motivation problem that we just talked at the beginning of the call. Can we position this platform as a means where people are motivated enough to come in here, right? Can we position some resources which you get access only when you are part of this platform, right? So that could be one organic way to drive. For example, that recognition program I was talking about, or that credits program which you can redeem for discounts or for professional courses. Can we position it this way that if you register on the platform, if you participate, you are entitled to these benefits? That is one way.
Scholarships and
right?
so on and so forth. Yeah.
Exactly. That is one way, and like Said Ali mentioned, the benefit there we get updated information about them. But what I slightly disagree, and I would elaborate on this on our next session, is that it is absolutely not mandatory for them to come in here. We could still drive those outcomes. You could still drive those programs that we talked about without having them to come in here and create an account, right? Ultimately, the problem that we are trying to solve is not getting people register on Alma Base. That is just a means. The problem is to help students connect with mentors, or to help them find the right mentors, right? The sign up is not necessarily a roadblock for that. It is a good to have. It's a very good metric to have. It's a very good engagement point to have, but it's not a must, right? And I'll elaborate on this on our next sessions, on our next calls, but just wanted to leave you with that thought that, don't think that signups is the only thing which you need to work towards. You need to work towards your programs, towards your goals. Sign up is just a means. Even if it does not happen, it would not stop us from achieving those outcomes. And I can elaborate on that on our next session.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you all. I appreciate
Awesome.
it.
And yeah, and I really look forward to seeing all of you folks on Monday for some of where we'll be diving deeper into some of the other interesting modules, especially events module. I'm sure you all would love it, and you all would love to do some virtual events for your campus alumni communities to facilitate discussions and email tools to make your communication workflows and you're making sure you're connected with your target groups. So it's going to get interesting from here. Do stay tuned. Do see your custom registration packets for resources and help articles for recordings. And please do join us on Monday. We'll make sure that you have a really good Monday afternoon and you leave this training session with some nice resources and are able to help young minds better that you do every day.
Thank you so much, Rohit. I appreciate it. And have a wonderful weekend to you all. And see you on Monday.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks
Thank you.
for joining me.